So we're going to start out today with a little wisdom from the 13th century mystic Rumi. And this is a poem called Across the Doorsill. The breeze at dawn has secrets to tell you. Don't go back to sleep. You must ask for what you really want. Don't go back to sleep. People are going back and forth across the doorsill where the two worlds touch. The door is round and open. Don't go back to sleep. That's from the book, The Night and Sleep. I was probably introduced to this poem 10 years ago, I'm thinking. And every time I come across it, it's a great inspiration to me. You know, it speaks. Now, I've read this week several different interpretations, so I'm going to be speaking from the standpoint of consciousness, that it speaks to me about our dance with, our relationship with consciousness. And you can leave it up for, well, I don't know, does that screw up the live stream? You guys decide. The breeze at dawn has secrets to tell you. Speaks to the fact that life every day, offers us an opportunity to transform, to see how something has limited us and to move through it, to step into new opportunities, to be tested in new ways so that our capacity develops. The breeze at dawn has secrets to tell you, secrets that you have not known, but certainly are worthy of knowing. Don't go back to sleep. I don't know why life is organized this way, but there is a lot of momentum to go back to sleep. There's the internal ego, right, that wants to keep it safe, doesn't want you to step out into anything too big or too new. And then we have the world that makes it scary to come out with who you really are, to come out in a big way with some new idea that maybe someone else hasn't tried yet. There's a lot of momentum to go back to sleep. But Rumi offers us a clue as to how we can stay awake. Remember, the spiritual journey is a process of awakening to who we are, to our true nature. He says, you must ask for what you really want. Now, this is a journey that we go through, right? Hopefully you've been on this journey. Initially, my ego told me what I really wanted. And it was all about stuff out there. If I can get the right things, the right relationship, the right status, everything's going to be good. I'll be good. But then life reveals that, well, that's not actually very lasting. You can get into a trance, right? You can fall asleep with, well, maybe bigger and better will be it. Hopefully you've stumbled into something spiritual that says maybe it's actually within you. And then you find that what you really want is less tangible. I know for me, I discovered what I really wanted was not to be stressed out all the time, not to feel deficient all the time. And it kept me on the course of awakening. What course are you on? And what holds you to that course? Notice that he says, don't go back to sleep many times. It's so easy to go back to sleep. People are going back and forth across the doorsill where the two worlds touch. The door is round and open. We move, don't we? From consciousness to unconsciousness. It's okay. Hopefully, as you bring awareness, as you're willing not to go to sleep, but to continue to question, to continue to engage with your life, there's more and more time spent in the conscious. There's less that is unconscious. And he reminds us that while the unconscious can seem like a mystery, and how do we get to it, that actually the door is not only open, but big and round. You do not need to feel powerless to the unconscious. Engage with life. Engage with what's unfolding each day. And we are awakened. This is a place where we may not know what the breeze at dawn is telling you, but we orient you to the breeze at dawn. We help you to step out of feeling victimized by life and beginning, like I said, to engage with life. And we resist, don't we? We've been rolling out a new strategic plan. A plan, by the way, that was not developed by us, but was developed from you and your input. And yet we've received a fair amount, and we particularly have been rolling out the importance of diversity, which not only surprised me, but elated me. We need to see more diversity in this community. Diversity of age, diversity of color, diversity of sexual orientation. And the list could go on. I, for one, have been particularly touched by the idea that we would go out and meet people where they're at to let them know that it was safe to be here. Why? Why do I think that's so important? A couple of years, 3 years actually, after I started in public accounting, I got hired away by a company, actually by an individual, a guy named Don, talked me into coming to work for his company. I worked in the corporate office with him. He was the chief financial officer. I started out as a financial analyst. Don was a whole different kind of boss than I'd ever experienced. He wanted to go to lunch virtually every day, but we settled on maybe 3 times a week. He always wanted to talk shop, but he also wanted to talk about our lives, and he was vulnerable with me. He engaged me in his life. He and his wife had me over to dinner multiple times. I knew his kids, always trying to fix me up with women. Until I felt comfortable enough, which was a big deal back in the early 80s, to say that I was gay. One Friday, he asked me what I was doing for the weekend. I said, I'm going to the gay pride parade on Sunday. And I explained to him, it's a big deal now because with the onset of HIV, we're seeing that we're not receiving any support for finding a solution to this as a people. And so we're working to come out so people know they know gay people. And the Gay Pride Parade had blossomed in size. When I first came out, it'd be about 10,000 people. Well, and Janice and I were both living in Minneapolis at this time. It blossomed to well over 100,000 people working to come together. HIV awoken the gay community just as George Floyd has awoken the black community. 5 of my friends and I went to the parade. We stood on the sidelines, and then there's a tradition, because at the end of the parade, there's like a festival, where there's food and beer and, people hawking their wares. And so you fall in behind the parade and you finish walking the rest of the route. And we'd fallen in and we were chatting, and I looked up and there's my boss, Don. And I went over, asked him what he was doing. He said, "I'm here to support you." I want to know more about your life, what you face in your life. And he joined in with us, and he went down to the festival, and he drank and ate with us, and I'm sure he got a lot more than he imagined. Think of how easily it would have been to go back to sleep that day. You walk out into the yard, the grass needs mowing. Well, I didn't tell anyone I was going to that parade. You're faced by your own fears. Are straight people welcome at a gay pride parade? And we go back to sleep. But not Don. Not only did he learn about my life through many different things he attended with me, but he became, we ran a big manufacturing operation with maybe 400 employees. And boy, you better not come out with any kind of discouraging comment about gays or lesbians around Don. He changed the culture of that company. And I was not the only one that he took under the wing. Good God, he always had stories of new neighbors, people at his church. What was really important to Don? He's passed away now. I'd love to know, but I would tell you that it had something to do with connection and love and understanding. We've fallen into a trap, not only Columbine, but the whole unity movement, into believing that just because we're welcoming that everyone will come. That's, interestingly enough, a position of white privilege. In the time that I have worked at this church, this spiritual community, thank God I'm leaving. I went down to visit my dad, so sometime in the 17 years, I'm thinking maybe it was about 10 years ago. My dad is a longtime Unity student, but he loves the Bible, and he loves the Bible. And so he's drawn to churches also that focus heavily on the Bible. So he's very excited for me. We're not going to go to Unity of Phoenix today. We're going to go to this church I found right in the neighborhood. Huge banner on the front door. You are welcome here. What do you suppose the message was that Sunday? The abomination of being homosexual. Full of non-truths, including, don't let your children be near homosexuals. They'll recruit them into homosexuality. And we wonder why Stuart and I, Jim and Dennis, Max, sorry to make out to you, Max, but why we're the only gay people here? Because 9 out of 10 churches you walk into, that's the message we received. Why would we need to go out and meet the LGBT community where they're at? Because they don't trust. Who would put yourself through that? Time and time again. No way. Until you're standing next to them. It's something that's important to them. And you're saying, you matter to me. And I'm from a safe place where I have grown. And you're welcome to come and grow with us. You will never be told anything other than you are a perfect child of God here. Don't fall back asleep. When we immediately jump into stating our perspective on something or nitpicking about what we're about plans, what are we doing? We're reinforcing that we're not going to change. We're blocking our ears from the breeze at dawn that has secrets to tell us. I know it's hard to tell when you see a room like this that this community is on a dying trajectory. My second church that I served was a little church down in Denver. And I, every year, had a little booth at the Gay Pride Parade because I was the associate minister and I could, get away. And the amount of fear in the community. One, no one ever joined me. No one from that community ever joined me at the Gay Pride Parade with my booth. But the fear, they said, well, if you attract a lot of those gays and lesbians, you're going to have to start your own service. How many people do you think attend that church today? 5 on average. They have been downgraded from a spiritual community to an interest group by Unity World Headquarters. They are dead. Don't fall back asleep. The breeze at dawn has secrets to tell you. Trust. You're fortunate that your new senior minister, who you know well, is loving, but she's a bulldog. And she has a hell of a time sleeping. She will not be falling back to sleep on you. And that is a gift. Because the momentum all the way out there and in here will be fall back asleep. Just another hour when the invitation is to wake up. I am stepping down. Don't fall back asleep. So today we are going to participate in what we call an installation ceremony. We don't do a lot of ceremony in Unity. Why is ceremony important? Because ceremony marks something. It marks a change. It marks an accomplishment. It marks a place in history where something's about to happen. This is a wonderful day. An opportunity for you to have new light and new love, a new message. And so, I invite you to engage with me. Some time ago, Spirit called you. And Sue said yes. That calling has had several progressions, including you getting accepted to Unity Spiritual Institute, graduating from there, before graduating, coming here, being hired as our assistant minister, being ordained right here in this room, going on to become co-minister of this community. And today, my dear, you step into senior minister. Another big step in your progression, but it's only a progression. So I'd like to invite Sue to come up with me here on the stage. And Kevin, would you stand and just stand in front of the congregation facing them, will you? You know, Stuart would be a good testimony to this. He's always saying, how did I get dragged into this? Kevin, you're a tremendous support for Sue, and we really appreciate that. But also, I just wanted to take a moment for this congregation to honor you for your support of this congregation. Let's see. How you doing? We have Kleenex right behind you, so we're good.
Good to know.
So let's both take a breath, okay? And yeah. A minister's relationship with a spiritual community is a covenant between the congregation, the board, the staff, and the minister. A covenant means that all parties make commitments. The minister makes commitments, the board makes commitments, the staff makes commitments, and this entire congregation today is making a commitment. It's not unlike a marriage. Sometimes things go smoothly and you feel the love. Other times, not so smoothly, challenging. But the covenant helps hold us together. And what we find is that together we can do so much more than we could do alone. I have a series of questions that I'm going to ask you, the board, the staff, the congregation, and if you agree, simply answer, I will. You'll know your time. And I want to start out with you, Sue, by reading from the book of Matthew. For those of you in the congregation, it's up on the screens. You, my dear, are the light of the world. A city built on a hill cannot be hidden. No one after lighting a lamp puts it under a bushel basket, but puts it on a lampstand and gives so that it can give light to all of the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others so that they may see the good works and give glory to your Father in heaven. Will you, Reverend Sue McQueen, commit to shine your light, to love, nurture, and inspire this congregation, to continue to call them higher and lead them to a greater experience of the divine within?
I will.
Will you commit to working together with our board for a sacred leadership team to always put Spirit first?
I will.
Would the members of the board who are in the congregation please stand? You are a sacred chalice of this spiritual community. Your most important job is to do your own spiritual work so that you may lay a firm foundation for this community? Will you commit to partnering with Sue in collaboration to fulfill the mission of Columbine Spiritual Center and to participate fully in making this spiritual community a beacon of light to the greater community?
I will.
You may be seated. Will the members of the staff please stand? Gee, Rachel, you could stand, Rachel, if you want, or a near close member of the staff. You are sacred servants of this spiritual community. You support the spiritual work with your time, your dedication, and your gifts. Will you commit to participate with Sue in collaboration to fulfill the mission of Columbine Spiritual Center, to participate fully in making this spiritual community a beacon of light to the greater community?
I will.
You may be seated. And now, will the congregation please stand? Will you commit to support Sue and the board of directors as they represent you, and do you promise to uphold Columbine Spiritual Center with your prayers, your presence, your financial support, and your service? If so, please affirm, I will.
I will.
You may be seated. So I want you to take that in. Just look at all these faces. Look at all the smiles. They're with you. We know that it's not always going to be easy. Yeah, you can always call me. I'm going to get the stall. This is a beautiful stole that was given to Sue and which she wore at her graduation at Unity Village. She also wore it during her ordination in this sanctuary. And today I am placing it on you again, Sue, as both a physical. Oh, what did I write? I want to see. Oh, a visual and physical, that's what it is, symbol of not only your development as a minister, but your continued commitment to ministry. I know it hasn't been worn much, but maybe it should be pulled out at these junctures. You wear it well. Sue, you have said yes to Spirit. And when you say yes to Spirit, all manner of resources stream forth to support you. You're the embodiment of divine love, of strength, of power, of wisdom, and of love. And you will be a blessing and an unending inspiration and support to this community. Spirit has chosen you. Spirit has chosen well. You're the light of the world. I invite you to let that light shine boldly. Do not hold back. Know that the light, love, and strength of Spirit will always sustain you. Yeah. And so, we place the seal of the Christ on you. Carry it well, just as you've carried it well to this point. If you want to turn and face the congregation. To my dear Columbine community, as my first act as your minister emeritus, no longer co-minister here, I'd like to present to you the Reverend Sue McQueen, your new senior minister. I'm going to step down. This song is for you.
Namaste means that I greet you. Namaste means that I see you. Namaste means that I honor you. I recognize the light in you. Namaste. This time let's sing We Greet You. Namaste. Namaste means that we greet you. Namaste means that we see you. Namaste means that we honor you. I recognize the light in you. We recognize the light in you. We recognize the light in you. Namaste. Namaste.